Hey, come on into the atelier a minute because this week I'm going to be demonstrating how to do the pad stitch. This is a wonderful stitch for bringing multiple layers of cloth together and giving them shape. And we use them in areas such as the undercollar and the lapel. So you won't want to miss this week's atelier in a minute. The way we're going to go about doing a pad stitch, all right, you can see I've got pad stitches here. Our pad stitches are graduated, if you will. So we never do, you can see we've got a pad stitch here and then here and here and here, all right? So what we're doing is we're staggering these stitches with one another, all right? So the first thing I'm doing here is I'm just going to pull my thread through. And what I'm using, and more times than not when we pad stitch, we use machine thread that's been run through some beeswax, okay? And again, you can see I'm working on the single. We run it through some beeswax and we press it. All right, we want this thread to be very, very thin because we don't want to be able to feel it on the outside of the garment. Okay, so now if I bring the undercollar around my finger, this is what's going to give it shape. And you can see, I always start out and I give myself, this is when I first started the collar, I actually came in and gave myself a guideline. And I like to do that because it makes it very easy to just come in, and once I have my first guideline, everything else falls into place. This is a wonderful way to learn how to pad stitch and make everything nice and neat so you feel good about it. All right? And if you want to do this, my stitches are about 1 centimeter apart here. All right? So here what I'm doing is kind of the same idea with the cross stitch. I'm taking and I'm bringing my needle into the linen, all right? And I don't want to see a stitch on the outside of the melton. So as soon as I start to feel that needle on my finger, I immediately bring it back up and through. And here you can see on your screen, I'm actually working on the lapel of a jacket, and it's the same idea. All right, the lapel in this particular case is consistent of our body canvas, and we've got a little bit of support underneath that called silicea, and then our actual cloth. So the idea is to pad stitch and shape the lapel without going all the way through on the cloth. So here you can see I'm continuing to stagger my stitches, okay? And let's just say I finish this row up. The next thing I would do is I would come over here and I would start a new row. You can see very faintly I have a line, okay? So I would just pop over here and I would start right in the middle of this stitch. I would just pop right over here and continue to work my way down and stagger my stitches along the way. And that's the pad stitch.